According to the common wisdom, baby boomers, like Peter Pan, refuse to grow older. Instead of retiring, they launch second and third careers. Instead of moving to seniors-oriented communities, they age in place or move into the heart of a walkable city. Human interest stories in the Sunday papers claim that 70 is the new 40 and 60 still has bad skin and trouble talking to girls. These cliches make great copy, but how accurate are they? To separate the myths from the facts, Freddie Mac commissioned a survey to determine the attitudes and intentions of the 55-plus population toward housing. There are 75 million Americans 55 or older, the same size as the millennial generation. They comprise a quarter of the population, but they own two-thirds of the housing wealth. They are living longer than the generations that preceded them, and their decisions will have an outsized impact on the American housing market. This month's Insight article on FreddieMac.com provides an overview of the results for the homeowners in our survey. I'll preview a few of the key ones for you now. One thing the media gets right is the desire of the 55-plus population to age in place. Almost two-thirds of our sample indicate they want to remain in their current residence for the rest of their lives. Moreover, about the same share are very satisfied with both their homes and their communities. While older Americans want to age in place, many of them are financially unprepared for the retrofitting that will be needed to adapt to their changing physical capabilities. A quarter of the respondents anticipate the need for eventual retrofitting, but almost half expressed concern about their ability to afford these renovations. A significant share of our sample indicate they want to age in place, but in a different place from their current home. And three-quarters of those planning to move again prefer to buy another house rather than rent. If they follow through on those plans, roughly 18 million 55-plus homeowners will be shopping for another house in the years to come. Perhaps surprisingly, it turns out that downsizing is not a priority for most of those intending to buy another house. Instead, our sample indicates that affordability, the availability of amenities needed for retirement, and less maintenance are at the top of the wish list for their next home. A common piece of financial advice for Americans approaching retirement is to pay off their mortgages. Our sample hasn't been listening. More than a third still have a mortgage, and a majority of those have 10 or more years left before the mortgage is paid off. Our survey also sheds light on parents' perspectives on their millennial children. There are lots of jokes about millennials still living in mom and dad's basement, but only 15% of our sample has adult children living at home, and very few expect their adult children to move home in the next few years. Most surprising to us was the small percentage of older Americans who have helped or expect to help their children with a down payment on a home. And 15% of the sample indicate they do not anticipate helping their children with a down payment even though they are financially able to do so. It seems it may take a while longer before the vast majority of millennials can buy that first home. For more results from our survey of the 55-plus population, take a look at this month's Insight on FreddieMac.com. Thanks as always for your time. See you next month.